Well, I'm SA,
I'm Wren.
and we are with the Author Sesh Corner, and today we have Kate Bader with us, and she is our author spotlight for the month of September.
It's me.
I love it. You're so shy.
Do you want to talk a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Sure. So I'm married and have 2 kids. We all live in Ohio. I also love playing drums, and my husband and I play in a band together. We don't really play out yet since childcare and all that, but we write music together and we're on all the platforms. And we have another single on the way before too long. It's fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love watching your drumming videos. They're so they just pop up so randomly, and I'm like, oh, it's such a nice change of pace on my For You page.
Oh my gosh.
What kind of music do you guys play?
We play alternative pop, which is very different than what I normally listen to, but it's fun. I'm not sure if you're familiar with bands like Tycho and Han. We're kind of like a weird mixture of super crazy instrumentals, but also chill pop, laid back.
Oh, very nice.
That's awesome.
All right. So I guess, did you want to ask the next question, SA?
Sure. I forgot to put this in order. I'm trying
Well,
to...
I guess we could start off with, so you're the author of Crown of Luminaries. Tell us a little bit about that book.
Yeah, so it's a fantasy book with lots of dragons and mythical creatures, and it follows the story of a 25-year-old mercenary. Her name is Amira, and she grew up with this deranged, abusive captain who would take these orphans and exploit them. He would raise them to be his mercenaries to line his pockets. And one of these adventures that she goes on doing an assignment for him, she ends up getting intercepted by dragon knights from the country of Blackthorn, which is where the story mainly takes place. And that interception ends her in the middle of a giant war for this crown that went to Crown of Luminaries that can control the entire world. Whoever wears that crown has authoritarian power to make the world however they want it to be. So all the nations are at war to try to acquire all the luminaries before someone can turn it into the crown that would basically destroy everything. Disrupt the balance.
Oh, wow. That's very fantastic. I love that plot so much.
Yes. So if I remember right, you're working on something else, correct?
Yes, I have 2 works in progress right now.
So with that, what kind of genre do you think you're gravitating towards?
Definitely fantasy. The first work in progress that I'm most into right now is the sequel to A Crown of Luminaries. Then I have another one in the works where it's about demons, and it involves an all-female fronted masked metal band, and it kind of stays in the Appalachian folklore to an extent. But that's still largely fantasy-based as well.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love it. It helps keep you stable in that zone of where you're at for an author, and I really love that.
It does.
So I'm just curious. So for your published book and for your works in progress, do you use any type of a functional outline, or how did you work with your first one?
Oh yeah, I definitely spent quite a few months outlining everything before I jumped into drafting. I really admire those who can pantsers, I think that's what they call them, where they just kind of wing it and go for it. I think that's so cool, but my brain doesn't work that way.
No, me too. If I try winging it, I'm I don't know what I just did. What happened?
Same.
So how many drafts did you go through en route to your finished product?
Oh gosh, I want to say at least 3. 3 rough drafts before I went into editing. Because there were some scenes that kind of felt redundant, had to take out some things, add some things, would get random ideas at 2 in the morning. So it went through at least 3 drafts before I began editing everything.
Did someone work on them with you?
I had beta readers. I had a couple of English teacher friends who helped me check for grammar and stuff, but it was a pretty casual, laid back as far as like editing goes. There's a lot of DIY.
Okay.
I feel that. No, I definitely did everything on my myself for Falling Forward. So at least you had some help with the first one.
Oh yeah.
What would you say that the hardest part of the writing process is?
I feel like I'm such a perfectionist, and sometimes that can lead to writer's block when I'm drafting. So sometimes I'll want to sit down and do a drafting session and kind of freeze because I fear, well, this isn't going to be my best session. So I get discouraged and kind of sometimes will forget that drafting is where you're allowed to be messy, you're allowed to make mistakes, like purge it all there and fix it later. So it's got to get over that perfectionism.
Oh yeah, that's really hard to get rid of too.
It is. I'm still figuring that out.
What was your research process like?
A lot of the research was mainly into like incorporating like the fight scenes, just trying to make sure I was accurately describing like how to sword fight. So I did a lot of googling at how to sword fight, and I'd also watch these videos of like sword fighting instructors to make sure I got everything right. I looked up some stuff with archery, looked up a lot of this general lore about dragons to make sure that nothing I was doing was like too far-fetched. Even though they're made up, I still wanted to make sure I was consistent with the lore that already exists.
Yeah, totally get
And
that.
that's good too, because like extensive research really does show in your writing, and if someone who's super into that genre and they're seeing you're not researching, even though it's fantasy, they'll still be like, well, that's not how you hold a bow and arrow. You know?
Yeah.
Right. Wanted to avoid the cringe.
Exactly. So for Crown of Luminaries, how long did it take to complete the book, or at least getting from start to finish to publication? How long did that take you?
I'd say because of all the world building that went into it, took about a good year and a half, almost 2 years.
That's awesome. It shows you took your time.
Mm.
I have kids, so that's part of it. But yeah, I definitely didn't rush it.
I totally understand that one. So, which passage gave you the most difficulty, and were there sections that required dozens of revisions?
Yes. I say probably the most difficult would be, I don't want to spoil as far as who it happens to, but there's a death scene. And it was just an emotional scene to write, even though it wasn't a main character. It was still a character that I grew really attached to, and I was not happy about killing them off, but it made a lot of sense for where things were going. So that was probably just emotionally the hardest to write. And as far as like the multiple revisions, I would say the big final battle that happens toward the very end of the book, just wanted to make sure I get it right. With a lot of moving parts, didn't want to skip over things, leave plot holes. It's like battle scenes are hard, but they're so much fun.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I actually skipped my final battle scene and finished the book and then went back to it just because I knew how I wanted it to go. So I totally feel you on that. Yeah. I moved on from it to kind of rack my brain on how I was going to write it up.
I had to keep revisiting it, take some breaks, come back to it. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So which, is there like a particular scene or passage in your book that you're actually super proud of?
Since I'm so deep in these current works in progress, it's hard to think of like specific lines. There is one scene where like Adrian and Amira are the two main characters, and Amira was having these like traumatic flashbacks like this from her past that kind of interrupted like an intimate moment that they were sharing. So Adrian has this moment where she like validates her and kind of gets to, I don't want to give away too much of the scene, but it's a part where she does something with her scars that Amira has on her back that kind of covers over some of them, like rewrites her story in a way, but still leaves some of the scars there. And she says something along the lines of, I couldn't trace over every scars and like just put a discredit to everything that you've endured, but also let you know every part of you is profoundly beautiful, like you are a miracle. And just that, the chemistry that they share in that moment of like supporting her through the trauma, I was proud of that.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that.
It was also another really hard scene to write, just to make sure I got the emotions right for it.
Yeah. Yeah, hello for everyone that came in.
So, how has your book changed you?
I feel like I've always wanted to write a book, and I always told myself that it wasn't something that I had in me. So I feel like it gave me a lot of confidence to stop talking down on myself on things that I want to try. It helps me with my ambitions. You have an idea, just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? It definitely developed my confidence and helped me find. I feel like I finally have my niche. I was looking for what is it that I'm passionate about, and this is finally it. So it really helps me learn a lot about myself as far as passions go.
Awesome.
Where is the question I was looking for? Oh yeah. So, since you said that you went through at least 3 drafts before official editing, was there anything specific that you feel that you had to cut out, even though, let's say maybe you really wanted it in there, but at some point you're just like, I guess I can't have this in there? Is there something that you had to cut out like that?
It's more so just because the book was getting too long. I have this whole chapter dedicated to a backstory of one of my favorite side characters, Irvette. She's a water mage. And that chapter was really, really important because it played into one of the expeditions that they had to go on with the book. But I have another side character named Arden that I'm a huge fan of, and I wanted to give him more backstory and more development. But it was just didn't really fit anywhere in the plot cohesively enough. So I'm going to save that for a book 2 and give him his spotlight to shine in my next book.
I love that.
How has your writing evolved since you first began publishing?
How's it evolved?
Yeah, do you think that your writing has improved since you first started writing in general?
Yeah, I've learned so much, honestly, just from connecting with other indie authors, learning from mistakes that they have shared, realizing I've made that mistake as well. And learning about the future where you can go back and see how many times you've used a word was a huge learning curve.
Yeah.
I realized I really liked the word obsidian, onyx, things like that. So I had to go back and change a bunch of that to not overuse words. I learned a lot about where you can break the rules a little bit when it comes to artistic fragmented sentences, things like that. Don't overuse it. Learned a lot through just being a songwriter as well. I write a lot of lyrics, so I feel lyrically, my book flows kind of lyrically, but also how to learn how to make that more cohesive and less abstract. So I feel like I got stronger kind of learning how to balance that through the process.
That's awesome. I love that. So do you feel that then you kind of put your music into your book then? Is that kind of a mix?
Yeah, kind of yes and no, because I feel like I tend to write more darker. Our band, we do have darker themes, but very happy. It's funny. Well, it's a bop, but if you listen to the lyrics, you could oh, this is really sad. Aww. So I just kind of took that, but made it more me, because we have other people who write in our band with us. It's not just me. So right. It's my space where I get to deviate and just how I would do it, which is a really fun outlet.
So with the writing then, because I'm not sure if you started writing and then music or vice versa, but how old were you when you first started writing stories?
I probably want to say about 13 or 14, so long ago. It started off super embarrassed, maybe back 11 or 12, I don't know if this counts, but Avatar: The Last Airbender, I would write fan fictions on, here's how I wish this would have played out instead. I was a big Katara and Zuko shipper. So I just wrote how they get together and silly things like that. And I used to write, I blogged for some magazines back in the day, but nothing too big. And then at 30 last year, I was like, let's write a book.
That's awesome. We all start somewhere.
Yes.
I started with fan fiction too, so I feel you there.
Glad I'm not the only one.
No, I still write it, but it's been on the back burner.
That's awesome.
How do you personally think you handle feedback and criticism?
I feel like nothing really rolls over, nothing phases me too much. As long as it's constructive and comes from a place where, we value you and we want you to grow, then I'm all about that. But if it's just trolling, a 1-star, you suck and you don't tell me why, that does get discouraging. At least tell me what can be better. Then I'm all about that.
Exactly. So when you're writing, do you think about your audience when you're writing, or do you think about more of yourself? Like you're writing for yourself more?
I would say a little bit of both, because I want to make sure, in order to write for my audience, I feel like I want it to be as authentic and genuine as possible. So I write for myself in order to write for my audience, if that makes sense. So I feel like I write for myself first, with like keeping in mind broadening that for others. I definitely want people to find something they can relate to as well.
I do agree with you on that one. I think that's how I started writing, was like, I just needed to get this out of my head. And then as my betas have started, I'm like, well, maybe I should think about my audience a little bit more.
I still feel like to this day mine's really niche, but it's okay.
Do you show anyone your progress? Like, and how do you determine when a piece is finished?
I show my husband and then another really good friend of mine, Olivia Kane. She does a lot of audiobook narrating. She actually was the graphic narrator for House of Beating Wings. So she's seen a lot of books. She has a lot of good feedback from that. So I usually use her for like my critique, like tell me if this is clunky. And then my husband just when I get excited, like I'm excited I wrote this part. So he's just for fun, like someone to share it with when I don't want to spoil too many things. And then Olivia's like my eyes on beta reader.
That's awesome. I love that.
Now, you said Olivia is a close friend of yours?
Yes.
Okay. So she doesn't hold back, right? She doesn't do the whole bias. She actually gives you what what you need. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I really value her for that.
Yeah, because some people, like I know some of the people that do me, they don't really give the feedback I'm looking for because I either A, they don't want to hurt my feelings, or B, it's because they know me and they just want to read it. So that's great that she's able to put that aside and be more professional to actually give you honest opinions of what needs to be changed and done.
Oh, it's so helpful. I've had some friends who are just super encouraging, they're too afraid of saying anything bad, like this is great. I'm like, but there's something that wasn't there, please tell me. No, it was perfect. That's not helpful because it's not perfect.
Yes.
Like, tell me.
100%.
So back into the research area, how do you come up with your character names, or what's your process for coming up with those names?
For like Amira and Adrian, well, I came up with Amira first. I've always been partial to A names because I think they flow so whimsically. And my characters, most of them are like elemental mages. So Amira just kind of came to me naturally. So then I started thinking of like what would be like a good partner name for her that would kind of complement her well. And I was searching through names. Like, Adrian's my shadow mage, so I was looking through, well, what means like darkness? And I think I saw somewhere like looking under baby names, like Adrian means dark. It's like Adrian and Amira, that flows well. And all my characters are like elemental mages, so I'll go through like names that mean water or fire or earth or whatever, and just whatever kind of stuck out to me is what I would go with.
Me too.
Nice.
Me too.
Rather it be published or work in progress, who is your favorite character and why?
Oh, that's tricky. I think Adrian, honestly, she was like my supporting role for book one, like Amira's love interest. And the story predominantly focused on Amira's side of the story for Crown of Luminaries, even though it's a dual POV. But in book two, it's going to kind of flip to where Adrian's the main character and Amira is the more supporting. Especially since Adrian has like a big arc of struggles she goes through in book two. I like how dark and smug and unbothered she is. It's intimidated. I jokingly call her a shadow mommy because there's all those shadow daddies like Zayden, Zan, probably butchering that pronunciation, but she's my shadow mommy and I love her.
So you kind of just told us a little bit. What is their background and personality?
For Adrian? Well, I can't really go in too much about like her heritage, like who she's from, because that would give away so much. Like a lot of the plot is like a lot of big reveals around her character. But okay. She's a shadow mage. She tends to be like very cold and closed off. She has so much trauma in her life. So she's kind and respectful, but like it takes her a long time to get to that point where she'll open up and be kind with you. She's like unbothered, like badass kind of a vibe where it's so hard because there's so much, like if you've read it you know, but there's so many spoiler alerts with her. It's trying to be really hard not to like let it slip. And there's so much, like a lot of plot twists revolve around her. She's complicated, and that's also what I like about her.
We do have a audience question. What is your favorite power to write?
Ooh, that's a really good one. Aside from Adrienne and her shadow powers, I also want to say Amira, because I made her a light mage, and I took a lot of inspiration from our Pathfinder campaign. I play a druid that has light magic. So I was inspired by like Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender, like with her lightning bending. It's like, what if there was like a good lightning bender but it's not just limited to lightning like in Fourth Wing. She can like manipulate beams of light. She can use light to transfer energy to heal people, kind of in the way that Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender can heal people. So between having this ultimate healing power and these ultimate like giant offensive attacks, she can make white lightning fire. I think she's complex, and I like all the weird things she can make out of light.
That's awesome. I never even thought about that.
But doesn't Katara end up learning blood?
She does.
But yeah, because when you said that, I'm like, wait a minute. I thought it was because she learned. I think, if I remember right, because it's been so long, it's not one that usually gets messed with or is like forbidden or something like that.
Yeah.
Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
It's been so long since I watched, but I'm like, wait, I know this.
Another audience question is, was the magical system hard to establish, or because of your inspiration, did it flow, or was it really hard to make it flow?
I feel like it was really hard at first because I had all these big ideas and I didn't know how to make it cohesive. So a lot of like the elemental mages, like the structure of it is like there's these gods, they're called the elemental pantheon, and each god has like a different element. And all the mages who like live in the mortal realms, most of them are all like descendants from the gods. So if you're a descendant from like the water goddess, you have water powers, the fire god, you have fire powers, vice versa. So once I kind of got that family tree structure down, it kind of helped simplify things a little bit. The hardest part was making sure that there weren't any plot holes or like, well, how can they do that? You have to have like some rules established. Once I established the rules, it started to flow pretty well.
There you go. What kind of advice would you give someone writing in your genre?
I would say I'm going to say this to myself too. Do not worry about perfectionism whatsoever. Just write, get it out on paper, get the thoughts down while you have them. Even if it's messy, even if it makes no sense, just get it out. You can always go back and add structure to it. That was super helpful. So I would say it kick perfectionism in the butt. This might be the biggest thing. And if you have like these big whimsical ideas that they feel too abstract, don't worry about it, just go with it. Because that's where like fantasy is all about creativity. So just put the weird ideas out there and you can add cohesiveness later.
That's very true. And I like that advice. I didn't think about that. What part of the story do you think that you wish could have been different or changed? So this is kind of different from parts that you left out. Now that, as an indie author, we know that you're able to go in and change it whenever you want, but considering of where it's at and you're now working on book 2, is there anything that you wish you could have done a little differently with book 1?
I think I could have been a little bit meaner. I put the characters through a lot, but other than like the side characters, I feel like get the most of the trauma through the battles. Well, like the main characters have most of the trauma in the backstory. But as far as like what everyone goes through, I could have been a little bit meaner with their journey. And book 1 does end on like a small cliffhanger, where like the main story, like it resolves, but there's like a big question that's left. Well, how does this get resolved? I feel like maybe I could have been a little bit meaner with that cliffhanger as well. But I know a lot of people don't like cliffhangers. That's why I held back a little bit to where I left some resolve. But it could have been more dramatic. So book 2 is going to be meaner. It will end on a full resolve since that's the close of the series. But it's going to be darker and more angsty.
I'm a sucker for cliffhangers. So
yeah,
I love reading them, but I know they get a lot of hate for some reason.
See, I feel like cliffhangers, like, yeah, people get angry, but it's what keeps that person hooked. Because then you're like, well, what's going to happen next? Because if there's no cliffhanger and nothing to, like, really grasp that kind of, like, I want to know what happens, then, you know, they lose interest. So I definitely prefer cliffhangers.
I prefer reading them for sure. That's why I still left one. It's just not like a giant one, but there's still a cliffhanger effect. I just could have gone bigger, so I learned that mistake for next time. Like, when I have an idea, I won't be afraid to go big next time.
Yes.
What part of your story really stuck with you and why?
I would say just Amira's journey, because throughout everything that she goes throughout the book, she has to confront her previous traumas while going through her current traumas. So I really, really like her character development of having to heal herself in order to kind of heal everyone around her. Not sure if that answers the question, but I say the way that she was developed, like she started out being like this solitary, I just don't want to deal with anyone, I was going to be in my closed-in little bubble, I don't care. She finds her found family, she starts opening up, realizes I gotta work on myself, and slowly tries to make her amends within herself so she can be better for the people around her.
No, I totally can see that. Because, I mean, that's character growth. And, I mean, you're growing with her at the same time. So, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
We have another audience question. Did you have the entire story plotted and know many books it would be when you started, or did it grow with the audience?
I kind of knew that it would take 2 books to get to where I wanted to go, because it would have been like a 600-page book for book 1 if I was just going to make it 1. So I knew from the start that it was going to be a duology, because I also knew that I was going to have like book 1 be more so Amira's perspective and book 2 be more so Adrian's perspective. So I don't necessarily think it grew with the audience, but I'm really, really thankful that the audience seemed to be taking well to book 1 so far. And I've had a lot of people say they're excited for book 2. So that's super encouraging. Was not expecting that. So I feel like in a way it did kind of grow with the audience, even though that wasn't how I thought it would originally.
That's awesome.
I'm excited to read it. It's my October read on my TBR, so.
Just a little bit on the side note. So is there a favorite book, or did you get inspired by any other books to help you with this series, or maybe that helped you with your writing process?
I would say as far as like the fantasy choreography, I don't know if that's the right word, but just like fantasy dynamics, the Poppy War trilogy was probably my favorite trilogy still to this day. It's so good. And so I would say Kingdom of Ash from the Throne of Glass series, Fourth Wing, of course, and Aragon back from the day. So all the dragon books. What's the other one? Fireborn is like another dragon series that I feel like took some inspiration. And of course, Avatar: The Last Airbender took a lot of inspiration as well.
Who is your least favorite character and why?
I feel like it would be easy to say like Viridian, because he was the captain that raised Amira, who would take those orphans, exploit them. I don't want to say bad words, but he's like just a total, like, he was so mean, such a toxic narcissist. So as far as like antagonism goes, least favorite, I try to make him insufferable. I'm not sure if that's fair, but maybe side character wise, Zephyr, because I try to make him annoying and obnoxious just for like the comic relief. He annoyed me at times, but I thought that was funny. Like if he's making me feel something, he'll make someone else feel something, so that's good. And it's funny because I know KP said that she loved Zephyr, and I almost died laughing when she told me that, because he was the annoying one for me to write.
Yeah.
But she loved him.
Where can we get Crown of Luminaries? So I know that I see that we can get it on Amazon Kindle. Is there anywhere else that people are able to get it?
Yes, so it's also on Bookshop, and you can search it online with Barnes & Noble. And I'm not sure if it's available yet, but it did get consigned with Alex's Bookshop, which mainly runs online, but sometimes they do some pop-ups. And then the Viridian Bookshop in Ohio, which is based in Willoughby. their grand opening is in October. So there's a couple local bookstores. In Midnight Haven in West Virginia, it's a book trailer that's opening here before too long. So it will be on the shelves of 3 bookstores that are like in progress of opening up.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have another question. Without spoilers, what was the hardest part to write?
Without spoilers, as far as hard for tricky to make sure I would get it right, it would be the plot twists revolving Adrian's character, like her big reveals, because there's more to her than she lets on originally. So just making sure I did that justice, it would be that. And for the emotional element, I would say the death of one of my characters, because of the way that another character grieves that character so hard because of what they meant to each other and what that character meant to like everyone around them. So they're the hardest for different reasons.
When any of your characters, are they based off of anybody, or do you like think of yourself when you're like, I guess is someone that you know like an inspiration to your characters, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of authors end up inserting themselves in the stories. So to an effect, I feel like Amira I feel like I relate to her a lot. Like, no, I wasn't raised like an abusive captain, wasn't a mercenary, anything like that. But I have had like my own trauma and my own PTSD and anxiety in my life. So I feel like taking that journey of like working through your trauma, like working through your past so you can work on what you're currently going through so you can be the best version of yourself for everyone around you. That was largely inspired by my own stories, even though what I personally went through had nothing to do with what was on paper. It was still very much inspired. Like, her growth was largely inspired by my own growth.
That's awesome.
I love that. I'm curious about, you said that you have another work in progress, which is not part of Crown of Luminaries duology. Yes. What's that one going, like, what do you think the synopsis of that one is?
So that one's still very much in the early stages, but it's funny, it's also kind of based on a lot of my own experiences, just like in a fantasy direction. My main character for that one, her name is Quinn, and she was raised in this like spooky like religious cult that she ended up getting out of, moved like halfway across the country to escape it. She is a very talented musician, so she's a guitarist who plays as like a hired gun for all these big bands. She tries to get away from everything. The consensus for that one is she has this really weird thing about this like demon, not like a demon in the way you'd think of them, like an attractive demon. She meets this demon in her sleep, has a dream of a demon, and then down the road she gets this new gig with this new band and realizes that the demon that was in her dream is the lead singer of this band that she's going to be involved in. And I want to, this like spoilers, I don't want to give away too much, but this demon needs her soul to accomplish a task to defeat like these cryptids in the Appalachians. So they need to like they meet her and they want her soul, but she's like weirded out by like the stalking. So it's like a dark demon stalker romance.
That, you know, I can kind of see a little humor going into that too, so that sounds like it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of banter for sure.
I love that.
How do you handle writer's block?
I'm still honestly trying to figure that out. I've said it before, but I'm going back to the whole perfectionism thing, where I gave myself permission to fail. So the whole perfectionism is why I feel like I get writer's block. So if I don't know exactly how something's going to go, I just kind of freeze and get discouraged from trying. So once I'm super intentional about giving myself full permission, it's okay for this to fail, you can go back and fix it later. That's honestly how I get over it. Like, it's allowed to suck in the drafting phase, it'll get better.
Yeah, definitely. No, writer's block is hard, especially when it comes to perfectionism. And it's like, I feel like once you have book 1 down too, starting book 2, you're just like, exhausted at that point. It's just like,
yes.
I already got the first one.
Now I gotta do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta start from square one all over again.
Yes. I mean, at least the world building's already done, and I feel like that has helped me with book 2's drafting process go a lot more smoothly, because the world building's already figured out. It's just finishing the story.
It's getting there, yeah.
Okay.
What do you hope that readers take away from your book?
I try to put this motif throughout the entire book, like fighting for hope. So like regardless of like what you're going through in your circumstances, like how bleak some things might tend to be, like just never stop fighting for that hope, like prevailing, persevering, like finding your found family, finding that community, not going through your traumas alone, like process things together as a group and just fight for hope.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you and I are kind of similar in that area because my main character also has gone through trauma and also has scars that she deals with too. So
I'm excited to read yours too. Fool's Haven is my next read, and then yours is after that. I'm currently on Magic Bites.
Oh yeah, I started Magic Bites too. So
it's so good. I'm loving it so far.
Yes.
Magic Bites is really good. Shout out to Iris Marriott, who is the author of Magic
Still
Bites.
Good.
Yes.
Fallen Air is on my list as well.
What inspired you to become a writer and to publish?
I'd say probably back in high school in like my elder emo days, like listening to like these metal alternative indie bands, like really loving the moodiness of their lyrics, being super inspired. I was one of those kids on like AIM and MySpace who would put like those cryptic little lyrics in my statuses from bands. I admired them so much. And that kind of led to writing my own lyrics, which led into, I need more. I can't just do short things. I need to make it stories. So taking like that lyrical style and turning it into books.
Who's your favorite author and what do you admire about their work? And do their books give you the inspiration to write your book?
I have so many. It's hard to narrow it down.
I know.
I might not be able to narrow it down all the way, but Harley LaRoe, H.D. Carlton. I really like Rebecca Yarros with the whole Fourth Wing series. And R.F. Kwan. I hope I'm not butchering her last name. R.F. Kwan, Harley LaRoe, H.D. I really like how H.D. is like does not hold back. She is not afraid to be super dark, get into the traumatic elements. But she's very passionate. Like you can tell like the themes are very like prevalent with like standing up for justice, human rights. I really love how passionate, like none of the trauma that she writes feels useless or just to put it in there. It feels all very intentional. I like that. And I like how Harley LaRoe, the diverse representation she puts in her characters. And she has a really cool ability of writing like darkness, but also hilarious banter at the same time. I love that.
Dark humor is my favorite.
Yes. And HD does it well too. I love authors who can use dark humor and like big themes. Like I love that so much.
Yes.
What is your writing process like? Do you have a specific time of the day that you prefer writing? Or is it like chaotic? Do you jot or do you write in a notebook or on a computer?
I feel like at this point I've kind of done it all. So I prefer late at night after the kids are asleep when there's no interruptions. Because when I do try writing during the day and they come in and they interrupt, I lose my flow. When I lose my flow, it's so hard to get back to like, where was I in my thoughts? But there's times where like life gets busy and like the nights are too hard. I will try to like jot things down in notes like throughout the day, or like notebook, just jot random things down to add back later. But I definitely a night owl. I prefer writing at night. Daytime is hard for writing.
I'm a morning writer.
How do you develop your characters and the plot?
I definitely start with my characters first. So I really want to make sure that they are realistic and flawed. So I feel like I honestly start with their flaws. Like, what are their red flags? What are their insecurities? What are the things that they need to work on with themselves? So I kind of start, like, make that my point A. And then, like, at the very end, I see, like, point Z or whatever. Like, what do they hope they become? Like, if I knew somebody in that position, like, where would I want to be at the end of that journey? So I kind of start point A to point B. And then, like, how can I traumatize them along the way? How can I make it hard for them to get to that point? I feel like in that, a lot of the character journey does naturally kind of inspire my plot for the whole story.
That's amazing. I never thought about starting like with the character's trauma and how they want to better themselves first. I never really thought about doing that process. Kind of went with the
everyone
flow.
writes differently, and that's just what works for my brain.
No, that makes a lot of sense actually, because then at that point you can start your plot around the characters. That makes a lot of sense. I like that.
What kind of point of view do you prefer writing? Like, so like for example, there is several different third point of views that a lot of people didn't know about. So what kind of point of view do you typically write?
I know it gets hated on, but I really do like the first person point of view, like first person present tense. With my book, since it's very immersive and like fast paced with the action, I like putting it in that place because I want you to feel like it's you in that book. Is it kind of I like the way Hunger Games is written, where it's like very very fast, like first person makes sense for that. I kind of wanted to capture that same element as well. And it's just the most natural for me to write in as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you hear from your readers often, or like if you do, what do you typically hear for them?
I have been lately, which is super encouraging because at first I honestly didn't think I would get a reader base, since it's like I think a small little fantasy book, maybe one person will read it. But a lot of the reviews were saying that they were really the ending makes them want more. Like they seem to appreciate the cliffhanger a bit, which is really exciting. I had a lot of readers tell me how much they loved Adrian, which was super encouraging. So they mainly just told me how much they love Adrian and Amira and the chemistry that they have. I've gotten the most compliments on the book regarding their chemistry. And like, please hurry up and finish book 2. I need to know how it ends. So it was wild hearing things like that.
That's good.
No, you actually read it and you want the next one. That's sweet.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And it's nice coming from people that you at least expect it from, too.
Yes, like strangers were half. I'm like, I don't even know you and you're excited about this? What?
Yeah. So can you describe your writing space? Do you have somewhere you specifically write, or do you kind of just pick where you're comfortable?
I mainly write in here, which is funny. It's like our music studio with all our drums and guitars. It's in the basement, so it's like the most quiet, secluded room where no one really bothers me. But when it's summertime, I also like to draft outside summer nights in our backyard. Just put on some like light bulbs outside and then draft with the crickets and the like nighttime humidity when it's not too gross outside. I love that.
Well, I mean, that is your creative space because that's where you guys play too. And I assume write your songs too?
Yes. We only have a few songs out. We have so many more that are written than that are currently out. It's just everyone in our band has kids, so we move very slowly, but it's a fun little project for when we have time for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my cousin's in a band and they probably push out a song once every few months, so I totally understand that.
That's about where we are, like maybe 2 songs a year at this point.
Yeah.
And we already did one. Our next one's probably not going to be until maybe Christmas time. At this rate, we'll see.
What does your typical writing day look like?
I would say kind of throughout the day, when I know I have that session coming up, just thinking in my head, like, what do I want to accomplish? Like, do I want to end this chapter? Do I want to end this scene? Throughout the day, kind of keeping it in my head, maybe jotting some notes on my notes app on, like, specific things. Like, I want to make sure this character has this moment. And that way, when I get to that point, after the kids are in bed, I kind of have like an itinerary, so to speak, of like things that I want to make sure happen. And then once I get that done, if I still have energy left, I'll just flow within the outline. Like, I stick to the outline, but I also allow myself to kind of use it as a guideline to where if things need to deviate a little bit, they're allowed to.
Is your writing full-time career, or do you have another job that you work full-time, and how does that affect your writing?
I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I work part-time from home. I do like medical billing, just all from home, which is part-time since I have kids in school that I have to run around and pick up. So my work doesn't really take too much time away from it. It just really limits me to like nighttime. But since it's part-time, I don't really feel fried or fatigued. It's a job I can just leave at work. It's emotionless, which is great. It gives me more time at night to just night owl and write as much as I can.
That's awesome.
Well, there you go. And being a stay-at-home mom, I'm sure it helps with that too.
Oh, it does.
Being able to stay up late to do that. I wish I could, but my kids don't know how to sleep in or anything. I'm usually up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
No. I just started sleeping in, so I've been sleep deprived up until recently.
That's good. Get your sleep.
Yes.
If you have anything else that you would like to talk about, feel free. If not, we're probably going to go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Trying to think. All I know is, as far as book 2 goes, I'm about 27,000 words into that as well, and I'm hoping it'll be out by next fall.
Oh, it's very
next
exciting.
fall.
Summer, early fall is the goal. We will see.
I know some people. So I just recently had a discussion with some new betas of mine, and one of the ladies said that she likes to set her deadlines, even if the book doesn't actually need to be ready by that. She likes to set the deadline so she doesn't like overdo it. And like in between her books. So she'll set one deadline, get that book done, take space, go to the next book, and then go back to the next book, and then reread. And just like having the deadlines saying, oh, I need to make sure I get this done. Because if you don't, then there's really, you're just going to push it off. Oh, I can do it another time.
That's so smart. I think I did give it a soft deadline of like no later than August is my goal of next year. We'll see. Ideally, it would be out around June or July of next year. But I'm hoping like by August, okay, you got to start wrapping this up.
I think that's a good deadline. And plus you have that whole extra year to do all your edits that you need to do and everything like that. So
most of the time I give myself is for editing, since I'm already a quarter of the way done with the draft. I'm just trying to leave all that time for editing, making sure I get it right.
Right.
And I know when I was doing research, between like series and stuff, it's usually a year to 2 between each books. So the fact that you have a little over a year, that's a pretty decent time. And Crown, how big is it? How many pages?
I have it right here. I'm trying to remember exactly, but I can say the exact number here in a minute. About 420 pages.
That's not bad. That's good for our first book.
Yeah.
Now, are you trying to plan to make it the second book longer than the first book? Or are you going to try and have it kind of consistent with the amount it is?
Based on how my outline and how things are going so far, I feel like it'll be pretty similar. Maybe just a little bit longer. I honestly don't see it going beyond 450 by any means. It might just be a little bit longer since there's a lot of loose ends to tie up to get where I need to go, but pretty similar to the same size.
All right.
I'm excited for you.
Yes, that's so exciting. And I do have Crown of Luminaries in my TBR. I believe I have that next after Magic Bite, so I will be getting on that.
I have yours on my list too after Full Saving. I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you. I will say it is
show us
not.
your book?
Yeah, go ahead and show it up here.
Yeah, see if I can get it to work. But Crown of Luminaries.
It's so
That's
beautiful. I love that cover.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the artist doesn't have any social medias, but Muhammad Kaleem, I have his contacts on Fiverr. If anyone wants that artist, I know where to point you, at least.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so what are some social media platforms that people can follow you on?
I'm here on TikTok under Kate Bader Author, and Instagram as well. I also have Threads, but I don't really do much with Threads, but I'd say TikTok and Instagram are mainly where I am the most. Same handle for both.
Very nice. All right, well, if the audience has any other questions, feel free to ask. If not, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Does Pandora have a question? Because I see she's still in here. All right. Well, I think that is it for our indie author interview. Thank you so much, Kate, for joining us for our Author Sesh Corner.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead and get Crown of Luminaries. You can get it on Kindle, ebook, right, and paperback.
Yes.
You can get it through Amazon. You can get it through Barnes & Noble online, right? Barnes & Noble online.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, and then stay tuned for book 2 from Kate.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, I'm Essay.
And I'm Wren.
And today was the lovely Kate. And we'll see you guys later from the Author Sesh Corner.
All right, bye-bye.